Hey friends, I would like to share with you some of the recent finds, vintage beautiful things that I have found, and I'm using them in my home right now. Now you have already seen this particular vignette with the figs, but those figs look so real, and I can't believe I found them, thrifted them for, I can't remember if it was $2 or $3 for the set of 6 figs, and they're so real looking. I just think they're amazing. I love them so much. All the things in this vignette are thrifted. The duck and the pumpkin and the little sake cups. I think they are Japanese teacups. And the little silver plated tray and the tiny little basket and the beautiful pottery looking urn. Those curtains back there are thrifted, and as you can see, I just hung them on a rod for no good reason, just because I wanted to include them in my living room. They're not serving any purpose except aesthetically. Okay, now this is the living room with some pumpkin decor going on. I've rearranged it a couple of times throughout the season. I think toward the end of the video you'll see another version of it. All those plates were thrifted. The owl on the left was thrifted. The 3 pumpkins came from Ross, those 3 wool pumpkins. And the garlands came from a variety of places. Some were discounted at Hobby Lobby, and some I may have had a while. That teeny tiny wood bead, that and the straw with wood bead just every few inches, those actually were on a spool in the trim, ribbon and trim department of Hobby Lobby. Now I really love vintage plates. I love them so much. That mantle clock was thrifted. The head bust thing, it was not thrifted. It came from Pop Shelf. I think I said that wrong one time. Oh, the beautiful lanterns hanging up there were a gift from my daughter. That arrangement of flowers came from Dollar General. The little plumes in the glass jar came from Pop Shelf. The lamp was thrifted. All the books are thrifted. That one beautiful pillow came from TJ Maxx, and it was a little bit of a splurge. It was $24, which, you know, that's not incredibly high, but it's way higher than what I would pay if I did not just fall madly in love with the details on it. I love embroidery, and I thought that was gorgeous. My big goose came from Facebook Marketplace. Paid $25 for it, and it's solid wood and it's heavy as can be. That sled came from a flea market in North Carolina. Did I pay $40 for that sled? I think I did. It's hard to remember. It was just this past spring. The big striped pumpkin came from Ross. It might have been around $14. Now this is in a different room, and you can see that the wall color is a really sweet blush rose color, but this little hanging display is a 100-year-old baby gown that was thrifted. The barrels on my back steps, I'm sure my mother got them somewhere, probably at a flea market, but I absolutely took custody of those barrels when my daughter Mallory got married 8 years ago, and I told her I was just still keeping custody of them because I really like them. There's 2 of them. Now there's my little vintage camper. Even my camper is vintage, and it's been a couple of weeks ago. I spent the night out there with my 2 little granddaughters, and you can see that we use our fire pit at the back, and we love that. And there they are, Margaret Ann and Claire. They go in and out of that camper as if they are the absolute owners of that establishment. They think it's like a playhouse, and I guess it is for them. We didn't go to sleep quickly, but we did eventually go to sleep, and you can see the dog. The dog chose to lie over there because Margaret had it on a leash. All right, that shelf came from my friend who had the yard sale or the garage clean out. The shelf from my friend, the shutter detail on the underside of that shelf, those are shutters from a house that was damaged in the last tornado that came through Coleman. Someone took a shutter and cut it up and used it in that way. This rounded frame, I paid $5 for it at a yard sale, and it is warped. It's so old, it's warped. So I ended up nailing it to the wall so that it would lie flat. I made that ladder that's hanging above the bathtub there. Oh, this is my bathroom. Did I tell you? Maybe you figured it out by now. That wood bowl it started out, I purchased it stained dark, and I did a whitewash over it, just some watered down chalk paint in the color plaster. You can see that shelf has some little wrought iron details. And I did want to point out that the shampoo and conditioner in those pumps right there, the pump bottles with the honeybee and the honeycomb pattern, those came from Dollar General. You can see the cashmere bouquet that actually still has powder in it. It's actually vintage. And some of the other things I put vintage labels on. That little round flat tin, I think it's for coffee flavored mints, but I loved the colors of it. I thought it looked like the things going on in the bathroom. Now, this is a sneak peek of the next Thrift Flips video. That's a picture frame that had a mirror in it, and I took the mirror out, and I'm using it as a wreath base. And the little owls are Christmas ornaments that came from Walmart. That barrel is another one of my mother's that I absolutely just took over and said I really just want to use this forevermore. That green pumpkin came from Ross. It's artificial. The little mushrooms came from Lowe's. I have had the little red wagon so long, I literally don't remember where I got it. I don't think it was Hobby Lobby, and I don't think I thrifted it, but I can't remember where I got it. Maybe it came from Ross. The Coleman vintage thermos was $4.99 recently. Well, there's a Coke box, Coke crate, and I've now moved the striped pumpkin is outside. There's another view. That's the far end of my porch where my steps are, which is the opposite end from where my front door is. You have to walk across my long narrow front porch. And can you see that there are speckled enamelware cups? My begonias have done so well that they're just about covering up the pretty cups that they're planted into. The little birdhouses are thrifted. That crate, I put a stencil onto that aged crate that was $2 or $3 from the thrift store warehouse. The cathedral window shape, I bought it from Emporium South in Boaz for my daughter Olivia's wedding. The vintage garden tools came from a thrift store when we went to Gulf Shores. Brought them all the way back from Gulf Shores. And there's Tom Tom, who thinks he's the boss of my entire property, but the front porch is his domain. He really loves it on the front porch. I have a cat house for him up there near the front door, and a basket with a blanket in it, and he's really adorable in the basket with the blanket in it. I need to include a picture sometime of my cat laying. You see the basket right beside the front door? He loves to lay in that basket on top of the blanket. Now this is also a sneak peek. This is a little metal house that was painted to look like a gingerbread house, but I decided that I wanted it to look a little more neutral so that I could do other things with it. Now I love this sign. Be happy, be kind, be humble. And it went right along with my month of sunflowers autumn decor and the vintage blue willow platters and other blue transferware. Okay, recently I found these pheasant and quail glasses. They were, I think there were 7 of them, and I paid 50 cents each for them, and I think they're so precious, especially with pheasants being as popular as they are now. And there's the gravy boat shaped like a turkey, well, with a turkey shape on it, I guess is more accurate. And you can see that in addition to my sunflowers, I've added a few fall and pumpkin looking floral accents inside that china cabinet. Those glasses are precious. Just so cute. And I do realize that when you stack the cups, they don't necessarily stack up straight, but I'm okay with that. That's the beautiful vintage china that I have just layered inside the cabinet with the blue willow, because I think the colors are so autumn rich, jewel toned. Little sugar and creamer and that vintage gold, I love that. And the decoupage pumpkin, that's a sneak peek of the next thrift flips. I just couldn't help but include some of these things because I've already got them in my decor. That particular serving dish of that china is cracked and crazed and stained, and I love it that way. Just so interesting to me. Those are the recent finds, the sterling silver forks that were worth so much. There they sit. I should list them and sell them, make a profit. Haven't yet though. All right, here's the 2 gourds that I found recently that have never been hollowed out, and you can hear the seeds rattling around. My granddaughter was running around with them last night. They came to eat dinner with us, and she was using them as maracas, I guess. But I love the coloration of those gourds. There's the whole cookie jar that has a chip on the rim and a chip on the letter C, but I'm okay with that. Oh, those peonies came from the Dollar Tree. No, not Dollar Tree, Dollar General. And the little amber brown glass jar that came from Dollar General. Oh, the lid was very cracked as well, but I only paid like $4.99. No, less than that. Maybe it was $4.50, I don't know. But you see the crack there? I just use these things anyway because I'm just not offended by cracks and imperfections, especially if it is a result of it being very, very old, and I know that that is. That little stool, that little riser is a thrifted find. The metal pitcher is from Hobby Lobby. And those peonies are also from Dollar General. I love that there were there's 2 bushes that I kind of mixed together to get that look. That little stem, that's actually just one stem bunch, and it came from Hobby Lobby. And it's sitting there where those pampas plumes were, because I let my little friend Sierra use those pampas grass plumes for her wedding, so I put the little yellow flowers up there. The cotton stems came from the Dollar Tree, but the dried looking, it's not actually naturally dried, it's a plasticky kind of silk thing, came from Hobby Lobby. Very realistic and natural looking. Thought it looked so good for fall. And just enjoy with me the way that old sled looks. I mean, we don't get snow in Alabama. Rarely do we get snow. There's no way we have enough snow for a sled, but that's beside the point. I think it's adorable. I love it. So it's hanging in my living room, and it has been all summer since I found it this past spring. I don't even care. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't have to. There's a gourd that I found just like that, already hollowed out for a birdhouse, and I put 2 little silk birds in there with some Spanish moss, and that just makes me smile. Just seeing that in my home, That just makes me smile. I love it so much. It's hanging from the big beam that's across the middle of the living and dining room. You can see behind there, that's my living room. Those big baskets, lots of them are vintage. Most of the baskets are vintage that I have picked up over the years. Yard sales, thrift stores. Maybe my mother, who knows. Oh, there's the bed springs that I got from my friend's garage clean out. And they're sitting in a wood tray on that chair that I have not done anything to except just set the wood tray on it. And the beautiful industrial spools. I thought it was appropriate that they be near my other wood spools and sewing machine display that's on top of my piano right now. There's a couple of vintage pheasant items that are also on my piano. I just love the metal and wood look of those spools. Just adorable. I love it so much. Just about everything in that picture is thrifted. Can't think of a thing that wasn't thrifted. There's the little baby bed. It's very old that I paid $2.99 at the Goodwill in Gunnersville a few months ago. And it did have a bunch of greenery in it, which I let it go to be used in the wedding. And so I just threw that berry garland up there. Do y'all remember a while back when I found this old picture? I just love it. It's the yellow frame just delights me. And this binoculars case, I think it's precious. It's really leather and it really looks good to me as a floral vase, floral holder for the fall. That camel colored leather is gorgeous. But that picture, I can see that the print's a little wrinkled. I don't care. It's cute anyway. Now this also came from my friend's garage clean out. We have the same initial for our last name. There's a little more of an updated vignette, and oh my goodness, another hint at the next thrift flips. Do you see the sweater pumpkin? Pumpkin made of sweater, a beautiful little Izod sweater that I absolutely used it. But this week, my husband and I are on an anniversary trip, and I will be filming lots of things that are vintage around the Colonial Williamsburg area. There's just no telling what you'll see me putting out next. Thank you so much for watching. For all of you who comment, I love the comment section. I always reply. I try my best. If I've missed it, I don't know who it is, but thank you so much for your interaction. Makes my day. Be blessed, everyone.